The Department of Public Health and Human Services is pleased to bring you Aging Horizons. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, fraud, legal issues, veterans benefits, and caregiving. Aging Horizons is a program dedicated to inform and prepare Montanans on these timely issues, making a difference to you and your loved ones. Here now is today's program host.
Good morning, folks, and welcome to Aging Horizons. You know, falls are preventable, and it's not a part of healthy aging. So today we're talking about falling. Nationally, about 25% of the seniors fall, and in Montana, 33% fall. So we'll be talking about how you can look around your room and decide what are some fall threats that are there and how you can resolve them. Good information. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Can you say ombudsman?
Ombudsman. Benson?
Uma Doodlesman? Fortunately, you don't have to say it right to get the help of a long-term care ombudsman. If you or a loved one reside in assisted living or long-term care, an ombudsman can help resolve any issue. And these services are completely free and confidential. Now, why don't you try that again?
Ombudsman.
Did you just text me?
I didn't want to disturb you if you were sleeping.
Sleeping? I'm sitting right next to you, silly.
There you are. Hey, I found a couple of Medicare helping programs online that I think we ought to look into.
It says if we qualify, we can get help paying for our prescription drugs. Oh, and there's a program that can help pay our Part B premium.
To learn more about extra help and Medicare savings programs, call your local SHIP counselor today.
Maybe I better text him.
You've probably seen some big-name celebrities on your TV lately talking about all the Medicare benefits you're missing out on. But the insurance companies who are paying for these ads may be pushing benefits not available in Montana. Fortunately, help is available from a friendly state health insurance assistance program counselor who can help you sort it all out. It's free, and we screen everyone for eligibility regardless of your zip code. It's Montanans helping Montanans. Call today.
A message from FireSafe Montana. It has been indicated that Montana is headed towards a significant wildland fire season. Now is the time for you and your community to begin your fuel mitigation efforts. Neighborhood meetings, fuel mitigation around your property, planning escape routes, practicing the route. Right now is the time for action. Your local emergency management agency can be contacted for more information. This message brought to you by FireSafe Montana and aired by the Montana Broadcasters Association.
Welcome to Aging Horizons. I'm your host, Brian Lamore, and we're brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services Aging Services Bureau. And today we'll be talking about falls, which I mentioned earlier. In this Department of Public Health and Human Services, we have a fall prevention manager. And that's Melissa Dale. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Now, you know, when we talk about falls, maybe some people are not quite sure what that means. Let's define what that is, particularly with seniors.
That's a great question because we actually use falls in a lot of different ways in our English language, from falling in love to other things like that. But for this one specifically, when we're talking about falls, we are talking about someone who finds themselves involuntarily coming to the rest on a lower level or ground. And so that is something we want to avoid.
Yeah, well, as kids, we're on the ground all the time, but as seniors, we don't want to be there.
Exactly.
Because what happens when seniors fall? They're not as flexible as a young kid.
No, and one thing I always want to mention is falling is not a normal part of aging. And when somebody does fall, it's a huge spectrum of what could happen. It could happen, somebody could not be physically injured to all the way it could be fatal.
Yes.
So it's anywhere in between. So we see people who fall, like I said, they might not be physically injured, but most everybody who does fall, they're going to have what's called a non-physical injury. So it's pretty traumatic. It's, very prideful. So people can get scared after a fall.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I have a friend, 84. 2 weeks ago, he died from a fall.
Yeah.
So unattended fall and other injuries. But now the National Fall Prevention Awareness Week is coming up. It's this week, September 22nd to the 26th. And tell us more about that.
Yeah, so this is a week that it so happens to land on the first week of fall. So fall and fall. So we try and kind of put that together there. But this is a week to really kind of analyze and figure out what your risk of falling is, to look at your own home, see if there's any issues that could cause you to fall, or even out in your community, you know, being more aware. And so we are going to be putting out a lot of information out throughout newspapers and social media posts and different areas like that. So, but one of the things is we're going to be really encouraging people to take their own falls risk assessment during this week. And so there's a free one. You'll see the website on the bottom. It's through the National Association of Counseling. It's called My Falls Free Checkup. So you can go on there, click on it. It's 13 yes and no questions, and then you can determine if you're at risk for falling. So this is a great week to like focus on that.
Focus on that. And you know, earlier you mentioned about the pride in it. Many times a senior might fall and they don't want to tell a loved one about it, but a loved one might say, you've had some discoloration, or you're protecting a limb or something. How do loved ones get involved with helping their parents or other seniors?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I know people are really scared to talk about, like, oh my gosh, if I tell my, my loved one or a friend or family I've fallen, they're going to send me, away and get me out of my home. And that's not true. What people can do is they can help out with different things, such as, putting new light bulbs in your home, making adjustments in your home. So if you need maybe to have some people move things around within your kitchen, so you're having everything more at your waist level versus going up or down, that'll be helpful. So people can help. They could be a second pair of eyes to look within your home to see what issues maybe arise that could be at risk for falling.
Well, and maybe the loved ones, if they knew maybe their parents or grandparents are particularly at risk because of certain conditions, what are some of those conditions that foretell a fall in the near future?
Yes. So one thing that we never really think about is medications. So medications can actually put you at risk, especially if you're taking more than 4 medications. And a lot of people are taking more than 4 medications. So having your loved one can help talk to your doctor about that, or your pharmacist, and they can maybe help adjust the medications from there. So we're looking at they could do a lot of things. They can help you with going to a doctor's appointment to talk about things that they have seen and changes. And nobody's trying to make sure that you're getting pushed out of your home. We're just trying to make you safer. We want to make sure you can age at home as long as you can.
And you can stay in there longer. But now, let's say with people with arthritis, they're at risk, a higher risk, aren't they? And why is that?
Yes. So people with chronic health conditions, there's actually a lot of list of people who are at risk for falling, but people who have chronic health conditions, like you mentioned, arthritis, have a higher risk of falling because, you're not as limber. It's kind of hurts to move around. But by just knowing your body, like I mentioned, bringing things up to your waist level, like within your kitchen or your bathroom like that, can help. So people with chronic health conditions such as diabetes can put you at risk. Just knowing what's going on with your feet and stuff. We hear neuropathy with diabetes, so that's something just to be aware of. Other things that put people at risk is, unfortunately, aging does put us at risk. Even though it's not a normal part, it's just our bodies are changing. Some other things, people who live in rural areas, surprisingly, are more at risk. And I've never gotten a firm answer why, but I believe it's because we don't have the lack of infrastructure in rural areas. So we don't have the sidewalks and things like that. So.
In the yards and our workspaces. But now, where does it generally happen in the home? Are there common falling areas that we need to look at first?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's kind of 50-50 whether it's inside the home or outside the home. I know we hear a lot bathrooms. However, we've been finding that it's actually starting to change. It's more in the common areas where you're throughout the day. So in the kitchen, also in the living room, and bathrooms also. But those are the main areas. We typically see falls happen around 8 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, and at 5 in the evening.
Interesting.
Because this is when people are getting up, they're moving around, they're making their meals. And what I typically usually hear is people will say, it happened so fast. I wasn't paying attention. I was rushing. And you're thinking about when you're cooking, you're doing things, you're not thinking, you're just swinging around and rushing, and all of a sudden it happens. So just taking a moment, don't rush, know where things are at, know where you're placing your feet, make sure nothing's around that can cause risks of falling there.
Okay, well, we've quickly drawn to a close on our first segment. There's so much to continue with, and our viewers, we'll be talking more about certain items in your home, certain techniques and certain things to look for to prevent that fall. So stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Hey caregivers, did you know that respite time is your time? How will you spend it?
Respite is really perfect for things I like to do, but my son isn't interested in.
Vicki Henry, Manhattan.
Gardening isn't one of his favorite things, and he knows and likes his caregivers a lot, so it's a win-win. Or even something as simple as a bike ride becomes possible when I know that someone I trust is with him.
Montana Lifespan Respite. Respite for caregivers. It's okay to need it. It's okay to want it. It's okay to get it.
It's good for both of us.
I think the most pleasant surprise when we turned 65 and signed up for Medicare Part B was finding out about our Welcome to Medicare preventive visit.
It was free, and it gave us the opportunity to visit with our doctors and establish a plan for our health going forward.
They reviewed our medical history, measured our height, weight, blood pressure, and counseled us on other risk factors.
To learn more about Medicare's free or low-cost preventive and wellness benefits, call your local SHIP counselor at 800-551-3191. I mentioned it's free, right?
Twice.
I've been shooting since I was young. It's something I've always enjoyed. I wasn't feeling like myself, but my friend noticed. He asked if he could hold onto my guns temporarily. At first, I was a little shocked, but then I agreed. I think he saved my life that day.
Medicare loses $60 million in Montana each year, $60 billion nationally. Medicare processes 4.5 million claims a day. They don't know who your doctor is, but you do. Mistakes can happen. Read your Medicare statements and call Montana Senior Medicare Patrol if you see anything unexpected. 1-800-551-3191. This project is supported by a grant by the Administration for Community Living.
Hi folks, and welcome back to Aging Horizons. I'm your host, Brian Lamorne, and we're talking about falling. Did you know the majority of falls are on the same level? You're on one floor, you're not falling downstairs. And the generalized, men and women fall equally, but women get injured, men die. Rejoining us is Melissa Dale. You're the Falls Prevention Manager with the Department of Public Health and Human Services, and we're continuing our talk about falls. And in this, we're talking about how do people fall? What is the mechanisms? What's the initiative, or not the initiative, but the cause?
Yeah, usually, we kind of talked about some things earlier, but it could be medical issues. It could be because of prescription medications kind of causing you to feel woozy. And then other things can be surprisingly your hearing and your vision. Vision makes sense because if you can't see, you might miss that step and fall down.
Yes.
Hearing, this could be because, if you're walking along and you can't hear somebody come up behind you and then they startle you and they pass you, you can jump and you kind of get rigid and tense and then you fall down and stuff there. So that can be a big issue. The biggest thing really is actually the lack of physical activity, people being active and exercising. So as we mentioned, falling is not a normal part of aging.
Right.
But however, as we age, our body starts to change. We start to lose our muscle mass. So when you're losing that muscle mass, you're not able to stay balanced as well, or have the strength to potentially get up and everything from there. So you want to stay physically active. And that's actually the number one thing. We found statistically, we found that here in Montana, 26% of, botched my own stat, but I found that people who are exercising are 26% less likely to fall down. That's always a great thing.
And exercising isn't really a strenuous activity. It can be walking.
Yes, exactly. Just walking itself is perfect. We hopefully all walk if we can. So. But then some other things, those are kind of the major things, but other things that we don't really think about are some of the environmental issues. I know we always hear about the rugs. That can put you at risk for falling, having a rug and just slipping from that. Some other environmental things can be not having bright enough lighting. That can put you at risk. You can't see as well within your home. Also having, one thing to think about is potentially having grab bars or handrails. So grab bars within the bathroom area and handrails up your stairs and steps. That can put you at risk. One nice thing I have been noticing, especially with those grab bars in your bathroom, they're making those a lot nicer looking.
Yes.
They're not so industrial looking. They have some nice, I went and found some the other day. I was like, these are nice. I would put these in my bathroom.
And any age would like them.
Yeah, I was like, I think I might be doing that. Yeah. And then just thinking about, where you have stuff in your house. Like, are you having a stack of newspapers that could easily fall down, or magazines that could fall down and then cause a tripping hazard right there? So thinking about what's on your stairs too. Making sure you don't have any obstacles that you have to go around. So that's a big thing. So.
And as we're talking, I see pets as one of the notes here, and pet toys. I've got a lot of pet toys. I should probably more often put them away.
And pets themselves can put you at risk. So knowing where they're at all times, if you have a dog who wants to jump around and your feet a lot, maybe while you're cooking dinner, see if you can put them in another room or away from the kitchen, so that way you're not going to have that risk of being tripped over by your animal.
Turn around and step on them,
Yes. So another thing that we don't really think about is what we're wearing. Thinking about what you're wearing, especially shoes is a big one. I have some fun shoes here, but thinking about what kind of shoes are you having? Nice sturdy shoes. If you're wearing some high heels, these can fall down and make you, they're not very stable. You can see they kind of make you trip and stuff. So you can wiggle and wobble out of them. Slippers, I know it's always comfortable to be in slippers, but if your slippers aren't holding your feet well, or if they're too big, you can get this caught and slip, trip, or stumble. I know these are all kind of silly ones, but another one could be, we see a lot of cowboy boots here in Montana. So I don't know if you can notice, but on the bottom, the cowboy boots, they're very nice and smooth. There's no traction on these things. So you can just go slipping right away down the ice, or even if not even ice, but just pavement that's wet in the middle of the summer. You can slip on that there. So.
Well, I know when you talk about pavement being slippery, if you have marble floors in your home or ceramic and they get wet, you know how slick they are?
Yes, that's very true. You're going to be sliding. You're going to be on ice, basically.
And hitting a hard surface.
Exactly. So
when something like that happens, how can an individual get help?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, like what happens after you fall?
Hit the ground,
one of the things if you fall and if you're not injured, you can try and get yourself back up. The first thing you need to do is calm yourself down, take a lot of deep breaths, because there's a traumatic moment that just happened. So calm yourself down, because you don't want to try and spring yourself back up, because you could actually injure yourself by trying to get back up that way. But stay calm. If you can, get on your hands or knees or scooch on your butt and find a sturdy piece of furniture that you can pull yourself up, like a couch or something. If that's not available, some things to think about is if you have a lot of people have smartwatches these days, or wearable devices. You can always call off of that. We have phones. You can always use a phone to call. Some people have been hearing, and I know you had mentioned a friend, but stashing phones at the lower level. So putting an old cell phone under your couch cushion or somewhere so you can crawl to, because you can always call 911 off of a deactivated cell phone.
Now we've drawn to a close on our second segment so quickly, and we'll be talking a lot more about, we'll be talking about assistive devices, certain things that you can use yourself or put in your home to make sure you don't fall. So stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Elder abuse is a growing problem, and it's happening right here in our Montana communities. At least 1 in 10 older adults are victims of physical or emotional abuse, financial exploitation, or neglect. To get help or report elder abuse, Call your local area agency on aging or adult protective services at 1-844-277-9300.
Every 65 seconds, someone is affected with Alzheimer's or other dementias. Many become isolated at a time when help is most needed. If you or someone you love is affected, help is available, both for people with memory loss and their caregivers. Memory loss can feel frightening, but you are not alone. Call the free 24/7 Alzheimer's Association helpline, 800-272-3900, for guidance and support.
You mean I can get help paying my prescription drug premiums?
Let me get this straight. I could be eligible for help with my family's prescription premiums even though I own my own home?
And our assets won't be counted.
If you're a Montana resident enrolled in the Medicare prescription drug program, you could be eligible for help paying your premiums. Call or visit the Big Sky RX website today to find out, even if you think you're over income.
What do you know about that? I'm eligible.
When I found out it was diabetes, my first thought was, Barb, you need help. You have to take control of this. There is help. My doctor gave me a phone number. I called and signed up with a diabetes educator. There is help. I have to put blinders on when I walk past the bakery counter. I can feel my blood sugar go up. You succeed a little at a time. If you have diabetes, help is available. You do not have to do it alone.
Ask your doctor about diabetes education or visit montana211.org.
Hi folks, and welcome back to Aging Horizons. I'm your host Brian Lamore, and we're continuing our discussion that falls are preventable and they're not a part of normal aging. We have Melissa Dale with us, and she's part of the Fall Prevention Program with the Department of Public Health and Human Services, and she brought some devices for us, which I know some are very handy, particularly that first one we're going to be showing you. I have them all over my house. Marissa?
Yeah, so I am excited. I wanted to show you all these fun things. Like I mentioned before, the number one thing to help prevent falling is to be physically active. So do that, but there's some other fun things that you can use to help make sure you can put yourself at that reduced risk of falling. Our first thing is sometimes you gotta like grab things from up high or down low. Is these nice little grabber things. These are all the things I'm showing you here are all fairly inexpensive, probably mostly under $20 to $30.
Yes.
So there's this little guy. He can little grabber thing. You can grab a lot of fun things. I feel like I should grab your coffee cup, but I will
use
not.
that for pet toys.
Yes, or grabbing those pet toys. So some other fun, things just around the house. This is actually a light bulb changer. So you can actually telescope this up and down, and then just get up to the light bulb and then turn, so you don't have to get on those ladder or a chair and put yourself at risk for wobbling off there.
Yes.
Some things, just like I mentioned, within the house, there are some pretty expensive, inexpensive, I should say, night lights. This is actually a motion detected light. So it turns off unless you have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and as you walk by, it'll turn on. It's a nice soft light, so it won't be over glaring. So,
and it's usually foot level. I've
yes,
got a lot of them around my house.
Exactly.
Nice.
And to go along with the bathroom theme, this is actually one of my favorite little guys, but this is a toilet light. So when you open the toilet bowl at night, again, this is motion detected, but the light will turn on inside your toilet so you don't miss the toilet. We've heard stories like that where, gentlemen, and even you ladies, when you're trying to sit down, you're just tired, you want to slip off that toilet.
Yeah.
So you can see where that toilet is at. The fun thing is this one comes in rainbows of color, but you can get just normal ones.
Great.
This is not so much falls prevention, but I always like to just bring this for your, as you're trying to wash, you can, scrub your back and stuff, so you're not trying to twist and turn while you're in your shower and then kind of slip there, so you can use tools and devices to make sure you're staying steady. Some other things around the house that are great. We've been talking a lot about rugs. So there is some rug tape or rug grippers that you can put. I forgot to bring, there's rug tacks too, that you can kind of get your rugs to stay down if you don't want to get rid of those rugs. Those that kind of help secure the rugs a little better.
Great.
Also doing some, whether duct tape, brightly colored duct tape or reflective tape, maybe along your steps so you can see where you're going. Kind of going into the winter theme here, because this is coming up, because we're in fall now, so we're going to be hitting winter here soon. But Having some de-icer. You could put something like this in your purse, and as you're walking and there's some ice in your way, you can sprinkle this. This might be a little big. You can actually just get an old prescription bottle and just put a little de-icer, sand, or cat litter in there, just so you have that available.
You can put it in your car, too.
And put it in your car or purse, so that way you're not without it. These are great, the Yak Tracks. Sometimes we have people get these Yak Tracks to put on their shoes, and they just have some shoes that they just keep them on, so they don't have to take them on and off. So if you have to go to the mailbox and you don't want to slip and stuff, you have that as available. And then, one thing in the car, if you're having a hard time getting in and out of the car, this is called a car cane. So you can actually put this in the latch of your car when you're getting out, has an extra security to push up, instead of holding onto your door of your car, because your car door is swinging. So this can help you push out and up out of your car door, or your car, I should say. Some other things, I know people will say, well, I don't want to get canes because it makes me look old. Well, it may make you look old, but you look older if you fall. And so it's okay getting canes. And I want to let you know that people can go to your physical therapist or doctor, and they can fit you for a cane to be protected. There's some little things you can put on your cane, like a little cane holder, so you're putting it on the side so it never drops off. Within the cane, there's also some things you can get, like a ice pick for your cane. This is not the best example since I have a big bulk thing, but you can have an ice pick for the winter for your cane. If you do not want to go down the cane route, you can always get walking sticks. These are fashionable. And they also have ice picks on the bottom of these too, but just having different things to help keep you sturdy and stable.
And you can use those year round.
Yeah, you can use them year round, and you actually burn more calories too if you use those. Some basic things to put maybe in your car or your purse or around your house. You know, we talked about earlier how if you fall and nobody's around, you can get like a whistle, or you can also, again, use your phone, and you can have that stashed away. But just, we don't want you to feel like you're going to fall, but thinking about if you were to fall, where could you place some of these things?
And we have classes around the state too that'll help people to learn not to fall.
Yes, exactly. So we have several classes that we support. The first one is called Stepping On. This is more of an educational program with a little bit of exercise. Our other class that we support is called Stay Active and Independent for Life, which is SAIL is the acronym. This is an exercise program that's specific for older adults. It has exercises for older adults. You can either do sitting or standing.
And you have that information on your website that we've had so much. We've drawn to a close so quickly on the show
no, that's too fast.
We have so much great information.
And my last one is Tai Chi. So
Tai Chi, that's a Tai Chi, yeah.
Yes, for arthritis and
falling is not a normal part of aging, and we've got a lot of great information here, but on the website and the links you saw there, you can get more. So stay safe, and we'll see you next week.
Special thanks to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for their continued support. Hosts on Aging Horizons are program specialists at the Montana Office on Aging. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions. For more information about Aging Horizons, call the Department of Public Health and Human Services toll-free at 800-332-2272.